Now, there's some things I want to talk about tonight. I know I got started late, but I was on the phone with somebody talking to them. Going through some family shit the last 5 days, and some shit that nope, that's the wrong one. Some stuff that I actually am dealing with a person that I never thought would get sick and has gotten sick. Wow. Gonna get started here in a minute, guys. Facebook, I got Facebook down here. I've got YouTube up here. We're hitting tomorrow. Before I get on here with Jeff, we're hitting tomorrow. We're gonna be hitting a bunch of bats tomorrow, hitting some new ones tomorrow. There are some bats that are being sent to me that never got here in time. Some were sent out today. Some will be here tomorrow afternoon after we're done hitting some different bats too. That Proton Smith bat. And then they got some other bats that are coming out with Proton that we're going to be swinging the next week. But we're going to try to do live in the morning. We haven't hit in probably about a week and a half. I was out of town a few days last week. And then today we got good news from a family person, so we're not going to have to leave town to go see him. And then, what's up, Chris? Guys, and I kind of want to go through this a little bit. I want to talk to you guys. Be careful whenever you guys are purchasing bats, man. I heard today talking to somebody, I'm not going to say who it was, but when you buy bats off of these buy, sell, and trade, I have a buy, sell, and trade channel out there. We monitor it pretty good. But just be aware of the verbiage that a lot of these people are talking. And here's the deal too. You need to buy, if somebody's not satisfied with your product, you need to make good. Let me tell you what happened to me. And I cannot believe people are out there that do this shit. I was reading what he was saying. I had 5 Fosters on back order. I actually pre-ordered them and they're not coming. They sold out, I guess. But Mr. Ronnie Salcedo saved my ass. Thanks, Ronnie. Because I ordered 5 and I called him today and got 3. He had 3 of them. I ate 25 for the girls and 27s for the guys. But when you're getting on this buy, sell, and trade, it is monitored quite a bit with us. But if if people aren't satisfied with what they pay money for, especially when it's big money, give them the damn money back. Okay. And watch what you say. If there's a seam or if there's a crack, or there's rattles in it, you need to actually say that. Tell you what happened to me. I sold some product on eBay and I wasn't going to say anything till I tried everything to get this bat back. And I accidentally, because I got some shit mixed up, I sent this guy the wrong bat that he bought off eBay. And I sent it to him, and by the time, before it was delivered, I messaged him back and messaged him. I said, hey, I'm sending your bat out today. Can you just send me that bat back? And I sent him a label with the new bat that I was sending him, the bat that he bought. Crickets. Then I texted him back and I said, come on, can you send me my bat back? And he said, I've been busy. I'll get to it. Never got to it. And then it's been going on 2 months, guys. And this guy has not sent me his bat back, my bat back. And he got 2 of them for the price of 1, basically. And I'm out that bat. I'm out the money because I had to make it good with the person that bought that bat. So he has an Onyx of mine that he bought off eBay. Paid $150 for it. No big deal. But Jose Gonzalez from Houston, I want my bat back. You didn't pay for it, and you're ghosting me. But that's what I'm talking about. There are people out there just for a bat, man. So Jose Gonzalez out of Houston, give me my shit back. And I wasn't going to call him out. What's up, Charlie? I wasn't going to call him out till I did everything. I said, okay, bud, you got till Wednesday. Then I'm going to call you out. And like these guys don't know who I am. And it's just a bat, right? But still, Jose Gonzalez from Houston, give me my shit back. If you get on these buy, sell, and trade, answer the question. When you get on my Senior Softball Bat Reviews channel, answer the questions. You'll get in there because it is a private group. What I'm going to start doing going forward here on out is a lot of stuff's going to change with me. I'm going to start putting compression testing at the beginning on what the compression test is. Maybe just either a video, Kurt, this is about to be the first time I've seen you come on here. What I'm going to do, it's either going to be a video, a picture on that Senior Softball Bat Reviews. And what's up, Mom? And I'm going to post it on there. That way, everybody that gets on that Facebook page will know what bat compression test right off the beginning. I'm not going to do it 150 swings in. Not going to do it 300 swings in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it at the time that I put the review out. So if we're satisfied with the performance, we know we can't get any more out of it, we're going to do a compression test right there on video and put it at the end of that bat review. And we're going to put it on that Senior Softball Bat Reviews. That way, a lot of you guys, another thing too is I don't want you guys just having to go to the website because I'm not getting 150 a day on that website. Well, that's not, my reach is bigger than that. So what I wanted to do is move a lot of stuff from the website to that Senior Softball Senior Softball Bat Reviews, that group page, and put them on there. That way you guys have a problem. You guys want to know weight distribution, want to know barrel flex. You can go on Senior Softball Bat Reviews and look at that. You just don't have to run to the website. The website is where I have my top 10 and they're in different categories. You only have to go to the website, see that. Well, I'm going to make that more visible through either Facebook and YouTube, where I'm going to put it on the end of all of my reviews. That way you guys can see, okay, which is the soft barrel number 1 and soft barrel number 2. And it's more accessible to a lot of you guys out there. That is the biggest complaint. And I need to change that. And I'm doing it. I got a compression tester via Carlos Vega, Las Vegas. And I'm also going to cut a lot of my podcast into shorts because I'm doing 2.5 hour, 2 hour, hour and 20 minute podcast. A lot of you guys don't want to see that. You want to look at bullet points. Like when I ask a question, it takes 2 minutes to answer that question. Or when somebody up there, like Jeff tonight, is going to talk about something like that one, which I do want to talk about a little bit tonight about if you heat up balls, if you keep balls outside, it's going to take 7 days for those balls to actually get to where they're supposed to be, either room temperature, or if you get balls cold, it takes 7 days to actually get them where they're good to go. And cracking bats and all this other stuff out there. A lot of you guys put balls in the freezing cold and then 2 days later think you can go out and hit them. You really can't. I kind of want to touch on some things that I heard about a lot of you guys in these tournaments that are out there. And I forget the name of the tournament, but letting a lot of guys that are hitting 50, they're hitting 44, 5, 25s, I think we hit them at the beginning of the year. If you guys are taking brand new bats out there that hit those high compression balls, you're ruining that bat. You're actually destroying it if you don't break it in properly. You know, we always break all of our bats in with spinners. You see us when we start our videos. We'll start hitting spinners and we won't be hitting it full blast. We'll be actually taking a lot off of our swing when we have new balls. Excuse me, new bats. When we have new bats, we'll take them out there and break them in properly. Turn them on our hands, just hitting them, you know, not taking 50%, 75% of our cuts. what you guys don't understand is y'all egos are getting in your way, and you choose to hit, 50, 44, 570, 525s and on these tournaments, because I know there's a tournament out there that you can pick those. And you take a bat, pull it out of the wrapper, and you got there, start hitting them balls, and they're just killing that bat. It's destroying that bat. So, guys, don't do that. I would actually pick the 44 375s, break that bat in, or at 52 300s, break that bat in. So, what I do want to, I am on Facebook. I'm on TikTok now. So a lot of those shorts going to be going on TikTok. I've been on TikTok and I haven't done anything with it for about 8 months. And I finally started doing shorts on there. So I'm actually going to broaden my reach. Instagram, I'm doing the shorts on Instagram too, if I keep them, because there's some questions that got answered by Carlos that were like less than a minute long. So I don't think you guys like that. I'll put the caption on there, what he's talking about. And then it will be better than listening to because of basically just bullet. It does make a difference because you can tell what Fat Guy VP just said. Adam just said scaling your balls makes a difference. And I agree, because there's balls out there that are waterlogged too, that do not need to be hit. My guys have been pitching for Trey. Trey's been pitching for a long time. Clem's been pitching for a long time. They'll throw balls out that they feel too heavy for them. So they'll grab a ball and they'll go, no, throw that ball out. And it's just too heavy for them to pitch, and they know better than doing that because we actually hit pretty good quality balls. Small clips from the podcast tonight. I'll work on those. It's just a little bit more time that I have to do it, and I'll be putting those out. And I think from Carlos, I counted them 38 of just bullet points in that whole 2.5 hour video where he talks about real important things that you guys, and they're just sitting there. I'm not going to put them all at once. Every day I'm going to try to run through. And then with Jeff too, I'm going to go back and talk and pull up, like when he was talking about that 7-day period about balls, that getting back to the temperature that they were before they either got frozen, or the temperature being hot, like if they're out in your truck for a couple of days, to get them back to that room temperature where they're not going to suck. 7 days. I thought 24 hours, but it's 7 days. Just to let you guys know. So, I'm looking to see if he's here so I can grab him. And I did just to see what happens. But a lot of good things coming up. Oh my, I cannot believe this. That was
fast. Hey man, we about got it figured out, Dave.
Now that was fast.
Yeah, man, I about got it figured out, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good. What happened last time? It took like 30, 40 minutes to get on last time. So
well, I'll tell you what it is. You got to be in full screen to join the camera. You can't be where you can see all the everybody talking on my phone. Something with my fold phone. That's what it is.
Well, so, I think what happens is, like, you turned it sideways, right?
Yeah. It's sideways and full screen. Yeah.
For some reason it doesn't, because I have mine sideways and I have you. I think you got to have yours. Yeah. Plus you have a Droid and I have an iPhone.
Yeah, that's it.
I know.
But
Ronnie Salcedo jumped on here. I was just talking about you, Ronnie. You saved my ass today with those Fosters, but I got from you because I put in a pre-order, and for some reason that pre-order got jerked out from under me, and I could not purchase any. And I was like, oh crap! Because I ordered 5 of them, and then I ordered 3 from you. So thanks for that, Ronnie Salcedo. So how's everything going,
man? It's going exceptional here at Short Porch. As always, we're always growing. So we made a lot of moves to set up 2025. and as we prepare to go in other avenues like fast pitch softball next year, all that's in development. Travel baseball with younger kids, kind of 10 to 13, focus on that area to begin with. So a lot of really cool stuff, and just super excited about the future. And senior softball wise, it's all about getting ready for Vegas, right?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
so
And I think a lot of people at this time of year, I know it's hot out there, but I know they're gearing up for that.
that's right.
There's a lot of tournaments that are being played. I'll tell you what, I don't know what it is, but I've been doing this for 14 years, and what I do see after every year is better, better bats coming out, but the involvement with a lot of seniors, and I don't know if you've seen this too, the involvement with a lot of seniors out there getting engaged and getting more healthy, I guess,
That's
and
right.
and not wanting to retire and get out there. And I've seen a lot of tournaments, a lot of guys out there. I get feedback. I get more feedback now than I got 5 years ago. Even a year ago, I get more feedback from a lot of the seniors out there that are playing it and finding something that they really do enjoy, which is this right here. You said something earlier, and I talked to you earlier today, but you said something earlier about fast pitch. So now, and I know a lot of, because of your success in what you're doing, and I knew this was going to happen, because you did get into U-Trip. How are your U-Trip bats going on?
Well, we're back ordered for almost the entire year. I'll tell you that, because we can't make enough bats, and we're looking to rectify that situation. So in 2025, we're quadrupling our bat production. So anytime you quadruple, there's a lot of work in that behind the scenes. So that's a lot of the stuff we've been working on right now is being able to produce that many bats next year, and we're real close to getting that dialed in for 2025.
You're jumping in it pretty quick, aren't you?
We move along fast.
Especially when you got something that is actually successful. It makes it a lot easier to jump from one to the other, because you've got this going. It's going really good. You're not, you're there already, and then you
Right.
you constantly want to build and get on to something else. So you went into U-Trip, and then but I see this, like, even in U-Trip. I mean, I know I tried. Clem was going to try to get one. One of the ladies were going to try to get a bat because they still do play U-Trip, and you were out already, and I was on back order, on the U-Trip bats. And but now you're going into fast pitch, which I think I love fast pitch. I'll tell you what, Charlie Mueller got me hooked on this in Vegas a few years ago, where we were just watching fast pitch one day, and I loved it. It was awesome. And the passion that those girls have, the little girls have. My wife played fast pitch, so she went pretty high up college and played fast pitch. So I was really involved in it. Now you're going there, and then you're talking about baseball too for kids?
Baseball. So, for the last few decades, I've been coaching travel baseball around the country, and I always wanted to get into baseball. But senior softball, us being of playing age with senior softball, was the perfect place to start, and just love being around everybody in senior softball. So we started there, but the goal was always, and we engineered baseball bats 2 years ago. This isn't something we're just jumping into quick.
Yeah.
We had them ready to go. We just hadn't went into the market yet. So the bats are ready. It's just a matter of when we launch it and getting the infrastructure in place to keep growing at the rate we're growing, which is, very rapid from the last 2 years. But getting to the U-Trip bats, I do have something I'm going to send you. I don't have your size because I only swing 27s, but we made a new U-Trip bat we're going to launch later this year, and I think you'd be very interested in it. And it's the 240. I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's ghosted in there.
Yeah.
240.
Yeah,
It's the Wig Popper 240. And all the players were asking us, man, please make a Wig Popper. Please make a Wig Popper 240. So we made it retro red like our original one, and behind it's ghosted 240 real big, so it won't be confusion, any confusion at the at the plate, and it's really cool. And I'll ship you one of these out for you guys to swing. And it's going to be a hot topic. We're in mass production with that right now to come out later this summer. And we even have some new U-Trip bats coming out ahead of that one. But I knew you would think that was cool. So
Yeah, because I just got to keep it from Clem, because Clem's everywhere, man. I'm watching reviews, and he jumps up on Fat Guy BP. I'm like, and he's up there hitting with Fat Guy BP. I'm going, Clem never told me he was going to go up there, and so I can watch him. But yeah, he's
I
everywhere,
even
man.
and I don't know if you've seen it. I even sent you a little message asking you if you traded Clem for a player to be named later.
I
Because I was like, what in the
trade
world?
him. That's the deal. He's very valuable to me because, for one, he's the mayor. You know, he checks everybody that walks in before they even get to the camera, because we don't let anybody by the camera. But before they get to the camera, Clem always checks them, you know, their credentials, you know, checking their driver's license, everything, make sure they're old enough. That we call him the mayor. That's why he runs around to make sure everything's okay. And Clem pitches. So you're a hot commodity around senior softball bat reviews if you can pitch. So
Throw strikes, right?
he gets mad. I got to get on him because he gets mad a lot of times about, you know, he's not hit. But I tell him, I said, this is a baseball field, okay? It's not a softball field. It's a baseball field. And he hit a line drive to the fence, you know, kick the dirt and throw the bat down like he didn't hit it good. I said, Clem, everybody's watching you, think you didn't hit that ball good, but you hit it 350, right? And he's like, oh, okay, all right, you know, but I love it, man. Clem's a great guy. I really do. I couldn't do this.
He's a good guy. I hear he gamers one of our bats. Is that true, or is that just a rumor?
He games. He's a gamer.
Yeah, he gamers a short porch bat. Is that true?
Hold on. That's his bat right there.
That's his
bat.
gamer. How about that?
Gamer, a 28 ounce, because Clem got a little stronger in the last few months, and this is his gamer. He hit the 27, and he was getting great performance on it. And then he said, hey, he says, that's gonna be my gamer right there. He went up an ounce, so he's swinging 28 ounce bats now, getting tremendous performance. Not only is he getting tremendous performance on it, he's getting consistency. Because when you go up in weight, that tends to be something that you lose a little bit. But Clem is strong enough where you can handle. You know, if you're not strong enough, don't do it. But if you're strong enough, you can handle that 28. And then Murray. And then I have Murray, right? Murray ordered one. Murray ordered one. I don't know if so now Murray wants to try that bat. Because here's the deal. Murray was swinging a few other bats. I'm not going to call out any names, but he pulled them out last week. And he pulled them out last week, and I started doing compression testing on these bats. So I said, because of Murray's swing, I actually threw bats out that I don't think he should swing.
Yeah.
They were usually the lower compression, the softer barrel bats. So I threw them out. I said, these are the bats that you need to swing today, because I compression tested them, and they were there, right? And one of them was the drip. And I think it compression tested 180, about 180. We got it down to 175 right now, but it's about 180.
That's a good spot for it.
Yes. So, and I knew it, you know, so I threw it out there to him, and I didn't tell him anything. And I go, grab this. I haven't put that video out yet, but it's coming. And he started hitting laser line drives, and he turns around and looks at me, goes, okay, I want this one. So again, he doesn't go through me, right? He doesn't go through me on this. He goes through Trey. So he grabs Trey and pulls him off the side and says, hey, can you get me a drip bat? You know, at a 26 ounce, because he does swing 26 ounce, 6'4", you know, 260 pounds, and I'm giving him 260, and he's sitting at 20, but it's got a good load on it. You know, you got on your hand weight. I've always liked this about what you're doing. That's what people don't understand is you can be strong, but if you got your weight distribution numbers that are on, you can handle that, because it's more of a sledge with lower weight numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you can go down an ounce if you need to and still get the performance.
Yes,
you know,
because you go down in your hand weight too. You don't leave your hand weight there.
That's right. We split it.
Yes. Yes. What?
And some of them, not all of them is half. Some of them 0.6, 0.4, but it's just according to the model and what we feel like we need to do.
Yeah,
So,
in the barrel length, right?
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And you know,
And, go ahead.
the what I'm hearing is a lot of guys like short porch bats this year for gamers. So that's good stuff. That's where we want
Yeah,
to be.
that's well, yes, but here's the deal. Especially with seniors, and I try to tell them all this too. You got to give them a chance. You got to give them, because they're just something you just can't get out there and swing 15, 20 times, and then all of a sudden it's going to turn into a monster. They got to put in the work. And I think with a lot of these, bats that they want hot out of the wrapper, with those higher bat speed guys, they're going to get that. But with those guys that are my age and, where I'm at, I'm not talking about the freaks like Murray, but I'm talking about where I'm at. I've got to hit that bat a little bit, hit those
For
bats a little bit,
sure.
but not a lot. I'm talking about putting 600 swings on. I'm talking about like 125, 150 swings on that bat, on that drip to get it where it's going to open up. But that's with my bat speed. So mine might be different than someone else out there that's doing another review on it. And they're bigger than me, or they got different weight transfer, different torque. And I try schooling people and talking to them about, okay, just because you break a bat in at 70 swings, I can give Bubba a bat and he can break it in within, I guarantee it's 70 swings, 65 swings. He can break it in. That's how come if you notice that when we do these reviews, we give the bat to Bubba to swing it first. After we got it where we're hitting those spinner balls and where we think we've loosened it up a little bit. And then and we give him to take a few cuts with him, then we pull him back from him. Like, okay, you're done. Swing this one, because he does get him there for us. What do you have? I kind of noticed what you're doing, and you can clarify this a little bit or not. You're going a little bit more soft, but not a lot. I think what you're doing, and you can tell me yes or no on this, but I think you've gotten where you got your soft barrel bats, and they're really successful because they're all very good on the soda pop. And then you got the two-piece bat that's it right there. And this one is the old school out there right now. And we're pulling 170 compression on this bat right now. And I bet it's got probably about 125 swings on it, 130. But that's with us swinging it. So don't listen to that, guys. It's just us swinging it with our bat speed. And there's 6, 7 guys swinging this bat, but it sounds like a shotgun going off, and it's got at 170 compression. I'll compression test it again when we hit it tomorrow and see what we've got it at. But do you see yourself maybe giving a full, as much attention to the lower bat speed guys and medium low than like the higher bat speed guys out there?
That is definitely a direction, and we have a game ready wig popper that's going to come out, which will be one of our largest production runs we've ever put in the market. It's ahead of the 240 wig popper. It was our second anniversary. You remember we did the white first year anniversary last year. Well, this bat is the softest barrel we've ever put in the market. I can't tell you how well it tests. You know us, we have incredible tech to test bats. I'll put it in people's hands and let the bat speak for itself. But the bat is phenomenal, and it will be the softest bat we've ever put in the market, and the largest production run of a senior softball bat we've ever done also at one time.
And that's a 12-inch. It's
a 12-inch. And there's been a good bit of changes to that 12-inch. But like I said, it's the softest barrel, and definitely the highest performing bat out the wrapper we have seen yet. So we're looking forward to hitting that bat hard in the market about a month ahead of Vegas, or a few weeks ahead of Vegas. So.
Who does a lot of your R&D for you? I know Christian.
So Christian's here and my son Cage. We have a variety of players here. When it comes to just hitting the bats, we do robotics testing, which is something you won't see a lot of companies do. A lot of the labs, I know Carlos talked about stationary testing at the labs with Canon testing. We do robotics testing. That'll give us consistent swing speed for to run into exit velos and these kind of things, which I hadn't heard of other companies doing that. I hope they do. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I don't know,
You and
Dave.
Carlos are the only ones. And I'll tell you what that takes out of, and a lot of companies don't understand this, the human error. It takes out
Yeah.
that
Okay.
human error, because if you're running robotics and you're running where they shoot the cannon, that's a certain miles per hour, and that can vary when you have humans actually doing velo testing out there, or they have exit velos on, and so that could be human error, where the difference between number one bat and number two bat, because there's a lot of people that I get that want to know what's your number one, or what's your top bat out there right now. Now that can be decided by human error, either from me or someone other. I don't do that. I like I'll do I'll like what you're talking about, the exit velo, and all the mechanical devices out there that are doing
That's
this.
right.
And then I listen to that, and I go and I do bro science is what I talk about. So if it was me just doing it, it would be human error. But if I got so many people that are doing this, that 8 up to 9 people now, and all varieties of bat speed, that's when I get my real input. Instead of somebody getting up there and
Definitely.
just hitting velo,
Different size
just
players.
hitting velo of a few guys that are pros, and then telling me, okay, this bat's good. Because I think humans, good and bad, they can have human error. They can have humans that are hitting this bat, like, unless you do bro science with it. But you're doing all of that, right? Like when Carlos was talking, and I knew we talked about this in between, that was he was talking about shooting the cannon like into the
That's right.
bat, doing all that, and you've seen that, and you've done that, right? With
Oh
your,
yeah.
you have to
So
do it because
Canon
you test your
testing.
bats.
Yeah. Well, cannon testing, we don't just send bats and hope up to NCS and Sports Science Lab. We have a really good idea. We've already did testing before we sent the bats. That would be crazy. I'll tell you, people probably are doing that, but that's not what we do.
Yeah.
So we now have 3 different labs we're working with off-site, 1 on-site. So we do incredible not only inventing stuff for tech, like right now we're working on Kevlar based materials for bats next year, which is really, really cool. And I think I might be mistaken, but I think Kevlar was used maybe in some of the Dudley OG stuff originally, some of the Worth, like what they called the booger and stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
And so we're developing our own Kevlar based bats for next season. That's what we're trying to do right now, which is very different from the material we're using. But yeah, I mean, we you know us. I mean, we have incredible tech, and we have the hit tracks here for humans to get in and test the bats. Also, like maybe what you call bro science, get in here and hit and
Yeah.
see. Because I'm not going to go scope out a machine. I'm going to take all the machine's input. I'm going to take hit tracks input. Then we're going to go to the field, and then you put all these things together and make good decisions.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
you know.
And
So yeah, we take all these factors in when we're making stuff, and it's a lot of fun. We love it, and that's why we make a lot of different stuff, is because we have a good time doing it. And we have a lot of people across the country helping us. I'm not the only one engineering our stuff. I have some really clever people helping engineer our bats behind the scenes, and kind of just helping me along to develop some of this stuff. So it's really cool, and we got a lot of good stuff coming out for sure in the future.
good. There was something I wanted to talk to you about. What else new do you have coming up? Because I know Vegas is coming up
Yeah.
next few months.
So For Vegas, we got, I know one that me and you touched on before. We have the Cherry Bomb, which is the lady senior bat, which may be one of the very first specific lady senior bats put in the market. It literally says girls just want to have fun on the bat, Dave. So
Wow.
it is made for women. And some of the older guys could pick that up, not to discount them or if they would still want to do that with it made for females. But
Yeah.
it is, it is a bat definitely tuned in on the softest side that we've ever put in the market, much like the Wig Popper that's coming out also. It's
Yeah.
a 12.5-inch barrel, and the Wig Popper's a 12. And it's going to be really cool to see for the women to come out to woodwork and talk about that bat, because we don't talk to a lot of ladies. We do, but not, maybe 100 guys to one female. And I know there's a lot of senior female players out there, right? So we would like to, put this bat in their hands and see what they think, and maybe do it on a larger scale. It'll be done on a small scale to see how it goes at first. And, if it takes off, we'll run it on a larger scale. So,
Man, I think you're going in the right direction there, because I think a lot of the ladies out there are swinging either someone else's bat and really don't know the knowledge about a soft barrel.
yeah,
So, with what we're doing and then what you're doing is giving them something out there to swing to prove what we've been talking about. You know what I mean? And then to have them come up, because I think a soft barrel bat for the ladies, and I know you've already done the research on this,
for
I
sure.
think it would be very beneficial. And then the weight distribution numbers that you have right now that are spot on. And I cannot talk about this so much about how much weight distribution has to do with a barrel performance, for one, and then flex in the handle on how much that has to do with being a difference
For sure.
between number 1 and number 5, or number
That's
1
right.
and number 8, or number 2 and number 10. It's all about weight distribution, and I think y'all guys are pretty much spot on when it comes to that. Anything else you guys got coming out?
Yeah, so we got the Roberto Manaya, who's pretty famous in Florida. We got his signature bat. We come out with the Sin City last year ahead of Vegas. It's called the Vegas Bomb this year. It's a two-piece. It's a 12 and 3/4 two-piece bat that is specifically made for Vegas Worlds. It says Vegas Worlds on it, 2024, much like our Sin City said 2023 last year.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of success with that bat. A lot of people, they just picked it up to, hey man, it's the Vegas bat and we want to try it. And then people got out there and started hitting home runs with the bat, and it's like, hey, it just fed it. And then we sold so many of them bats last year. We couldn't wait to do it again at Vegas, because people really like the idea of having a Vegas specific bat, not only to take home with you, but one that performed,
You did a Sin City, didn't you, here lately?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the Sin City we did for Smash It Sports. It's a 13-inch barrel.
Yeah.
I really love that bat when I hit it. That was an exclusive for Smash It, and it was super high performing.
Yeah, it wasn't like the Sin City from Las Vegas. It actually
No,
was
it's not the same bat.
But that bat was good. I'm not saying that bat was nothing good. It was up there in my top 10, but this bat is a different. A lot of people were going and thinking it was the same bat. It performed a lot better.
No, definitely. Yeah, we had made a lot of changes in around November last year with our tech, and you started seeing a lot of different things going on with our bats, and just small improvements, and that's what we're looking at for next year, is how do we improve on what we're already doing. Why be happy where you are? So if we can keep making small improvements to put bats in people's hands, and that'll help us.
I think, and I want to go back on this again, because we've talked about this in the past, was how do you, in other words, trying to explain to a lot of people, and you can go on after I bring it up, but what happens is when you get on a track on when you're going to build something, okay, I built this bat, and this bat I love this bat, but let's take, after that bat was launched, then you start building something else. and you're going in a direction that was on that same path, and you stop and go, okay, this one's different. Then you're going to label that or name that bat another, and you stop, right? Because it
That's
does
right.
swing different than a bat that you just swung. So that's how come you're launching a lot of these bats that are out there, and basically it's through research and development and doing R&D. Like the guy goes, well, you can tweak something or hone something or tune it in. And then once you get there, you don't go any further. In other words, you put that bat looks good. You put it out. It's not the same as that last bat. You
That's
make
right.
it just a little different, with the weave or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, without getting into a lot of stuff people probably don't want to hear about. Yeah, if you make a small change, it's a different bat. You don't call it the same thing. Just because it's a 13-inch barrel, if it's changed, it's changed. And that could be from how you layer the composite to the type of material to the handle. The best way, the easiest way, and I probably shouldn't even say this live on the podcast, the easiest way to improve a bat is not to make a better barrel because of the regulations, it's to make a better handle. So the handle is the best way, So
Yeah, I agree 100%. And yeah, that's like Carlos said last week about giving up too much information, and he
yeah,
was doing it at the beginning. He learned where he doesn't want to say too much because the guys out there that haven't done the work, because to let you know, guys, there's people out there that have not done the work, and just instead of building a bat, they order a bat. So
yeah, exactly.
and I understand where you're coming from, where you don't want to give up too much. And I know, here's the deal. I know you got so much in your back pocket that you're not talking about. That's what a lot of people don't understand with minds like yours, minds like Carlos, and they actually are thinking. Like it's kind of like it's hard to sleep because you're constantly just thinking about how to better your next project, or next ball. That you
That's
guys.
right.
So
Yeah, and that's what us around here, we always want to make the next great thing. We all, that's what's exciting for us. It's the softball players, they want to go out there and win the next world or win the next state tournament. And by all means, I love to play, but for us, it's about inventing the next product. It's about bringing the next great bat to life, about making better softballs or baseballs, or it's just it's what we thrive to do here and what's exciting for us. And not only do we have a business doing it, but man, we sure love it, Dave. I'll tell you, we love to do it. So
well, I can tell because I've seen you at these tournaments, and the people that come up and talk to you, and the knowledge that when you talk, I mean, like I talked about this. Well, last podcast that we did was, I sat up there with 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, lights were out, and we're in the parking lot talking about just bats.
that's
You
right.
know what I mean? So that's when I knew that, and not too many people. There's only a few people. And the one thing, because here's the deal, guys, I can sit there and talk to somebody for 15 minutes or 10 minutes, and it's like they're not telling me anything that I don't already know, and I already call bullshit on some stuff. What I did notice from talking to you and Christian was y'all guys know your shit. So y'all are coming up with shit that I'm like, wow, okay, tell me more,
Right.
I can gain. I'm always looking to gain knowledge. So you guys were out there, our phone conversation, or in Vegas last year, just sitting there and listening to you guys. I can sit there and do that for hours, just because you guys have the knowledge. And I'm talking to you guys about this, and I can sit there and listen to that because I can pick out a bullshitter. I mean, I really can. And I was talking to y'all, and I'm like, oh, okay. And you're like, Dave, aren't you watching this? We're at the last year in Vegas, and you go, Dave, because I went up there to see somebody. I know you guys were going to be there.
Yeah.
You go, Dave, and we've been there for an hour and a half already. Go, Dave, won't you come over to see somebody? I go, don't worry about it, man. I'll see them later. And I sat there at the tent, and I was talking to you guys because I was gaining knowledge, and I knew you guys had your shit together. And there's not that many people out there, and I don't want to call anybody out. And guys, it's not black and white. There's some gray area in there where there's some people in there that really you're talking to them and they're like, and I'm like, okay, all right, I'm done with you, man. I'm gonna go over here. I don't want to talk to you no more. That come up and try to talk to me, anywhere at places. The one thing I do like about you guys, and I talked to Vega about this last week, is, you guys have your little crew of a lot of the guys with their names on it, and you're not silent. A lot of those guys are out there promoting your product.
Yeah, for sure.
They're just not going, and they're out there to help people too. I noticed that at the tents and stuff, where they're out there to help people and the knowledge that they have, because there are a few, trucks out there that really, I sit there and listen to them and they really don't know. But your guys, I will say this, a wealth of knowledge that they have, and that might be something that you talk to them about.
Yeah, and we have a lot of good people right now. Obviously, Todd Cox with Phantom Sports is a big short porch advocate, and you see him kind of all over the world and on social media. And him and his wife's a big help pushing our brand. Ron Yeager, the Yeager Bomb bat, which is the bat that is really gaining traction right now. He's a super guy, and that's it, and well loved. And when you got somebody who everybody wants to get behind, there's guys buying that bat. They didn't even ask what bat it was, whether if it was balanced, end loaded. I know Yeager, I'm going to buy that bat. So he's a good guy. I've played against him, played with him.
This bat is a balanced bat, a 2-piece, and it is very hot. It's got 9.9 on the hands and 16.8 on the end. This bat is really good. You can ask my guys. Just talk to my guys. You guys don't have to listen to me. Just talk to Trey, talk to Clem, the guys, Charlie Mueller, the guys that hit with us. You can ask all those guys. That bat is pretty hot. Who else you got out there?
Yeah, so Rick Seals, he was on the bluegrass bat. I know you've swung that bluegrass bat. And Rick,
that in a minute after you're done.
Yeah, Rick is one of them guys. Lord knows, man, he talks like so fast you can't even hardly keep up with him. But Rick is another one who everybody loves the guy, and he's just a big advocate of short porch. And he's talking to a lot of people about our brand that maybe hadn't. There's still people out there who hadn't heard a lot about short porch. We hadn't been around that long. Not everybody has social media and YouTube, and we still get people come up to me and be like, "Man, we hadn't heard of short porch." I'm like, "You don't have YouTube or Facebook or anything like that?" And these older guys are like, "No, I don't." And I was like, "That's why." That's why. So, they may have seen a few of our bats, but they didn't know anything about us because, not everybody has social media and things. So
I agree.
So, Rick is out there advocating the bluegrass, and that's a bat we put back in production to bring more of them to Vegas that we sold out of. But Headbangers, Smash It, and Phantom, and these guys still have some left. So.
Let me ask you this, because I talked to Trey about this, because Murray was ordering one of these, the drip. Do you have any of these left?
No, the drip had already been cycled out, and it was a bat that we were really high on, but we launched it in December, probably not the greatest month. So this far in the year, it's just not in production anymore. So, but I would, if anybody really liked the drip, I would have them try out that soda pop and we're going to have more of those in stock next week.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. So, it was hard for me to pick between the two on what I was going to do with them, but you can go from one to the other, and basically the weight distribution is basically almost the same when you're talking about
it's just a 12 versus 12 and a half inch. They're fairly similar.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah.
You're probably not even going to feel that, but this is the soda pop, and it's got 16.9 on the end, 8.4 on the hands.
That's right.
This bat has probably got 600 plus swings on this bat. What about this one? Because Clem loves the Brewtown.
Well, let me tell you, because that's David Ireland's signature bat. He is a personal friend of mine, and he is a really good dude out of Jacksonville. and we launched them with the hot dog and the soda pop. Well, what happened, Dave? That was the higher compression, high bat speed version. The hot dog and soda pop, everybody was they sold out so quick. Everybody was wanting the hot dog and the soda pop. Well, the Brewtowns took like a few months to really pick up steam, and then everybody wanted them. So when we went back into production with the soda pop and hot dog, the Brewtown didn't go back in at the same time. It'll be like another month before it comes back out. So we kind of watch the market and ride the waves with our bats. If I guess you could say, when it comes to production, us only producing 1,300 a month right now, we have to be real particular about what's in those 1,300 bats.
You said something earlier. You said something earlier about 2,500 bats. You're going to raise your production to accommodate the flow of bats that you're actually getting.
Right. With us going into U-Trip. So right now, starting next week, for the next 4 weeks, we have, it's like 2,390 or something, which will be the largest production we've ever done in that short period of time. And where we want to go to is we want to get to 4,000 bats a month capability next year, with the fast pitch and other bats being launched also. Yeah. And I know that seems like a lot of bats, Dave, but man, 1,000 bats when you're dealing with a whole nation, it's like, man, we'll sell them in a few days, and it's kind of good and kind of sad. I'd rather sell them and be looking at the dust there on the empty pallets than them just stacking up bats and not being able to sell them. But that's what we've been trying to do, because about our manufacturing, and we do things a lot differently. Yeah. So we may be handicapped in some areas where other companies aren't.
Let's talk about that, because there's people on here now that don't know that. And especially when I'm doing these shorts, I can actually cut this up where it's going to be a short video. How do you, with a lot of bat companies out there that actually do freight, and they do it with a ship? Now, you guys don't do that. So
no. So we air freight materials from the States here to Asia, and then we make the finished product in Asia and we air freight it back. Nothing gets on the ship because of the temperature control issues that they have on the containers, that with bats, anything over 140 degrees it is just a no-go for us. And obviously a shipping container, can get over 140 degrees. And with the balls, the same way. These temperatures is just really bad on products. And I promise you, I'm not going to sit here and say that Short Porch will never do it that way with the growth we're having. But we're not doing it now, and we don't plan on doing it. But I'm not going to sit here and and you say, Jeff, 2 years ago you told me you never container stuff, but because growth is growth, and I understand why they're doing these things. Yeah. But for us right now, it's about putting the best products in the market. That's who we are, and having the best quality control, so that we don't have compromised products in the market, I guess you should say.
I agree. I just wanted you to touch on that. Another thing I wanted you to touch on, your carbon. It is, go ahead.
Yeah.
It is made.
So the carbon and adhesives, before I'm not going to take full credit, before I ever come along and made bats, a lot of this stuff was made, similar stuff was made here in Savannah, Georgia, locally. Leslie, she worked at that company. Her father, who passed away, was a chief engineer there. And to make a long story short, I got with her and we decided to develop our own stuff, and got with a lot of smart people and a lot of companies like Goodyear. I think I spoke about Goodyear helping us in the past, and started developing our own materials for it started off with softballs, then we moved into the bats. So.
And you're going into Kevlar too, so that's going to be something that's added, which I think is great. I think that's really good. I cannot wait next year to see that.
Yeah,
I want that.
That's something that
they went to it and they went away from it, and not a lot of companies went back to it?
It's
Tell me why.
Yeah, it's something I was very interested in, and I couldn't quite pull it off a few years ago, Dave, and was developing Kevlar for a Kevlar material for that we were happy with our bats, and it's something that we just finalized basically last Thursday, so just 6 days ago, where we are really happy with it, and we're going to basically have some of those first models in our hands to test in about 4 weeks, actually.
Wow,
So it's really cool.
that's pretty
So,
quick.
but
You're married?
hmm,
You married?
no,
Oh, you're
hmm,
not. Who was Carlos asking about? Someone who's an engineer or something like that. There was, I don't know if he didn't,
he's
he might have misspoke,
talking
but
about Leslie, right?
I guess he was. She's an engineer or something. What does she do?
Yeah, so she's from Creighton Chemical. She's our CFO, and we're very close, and she basically is the mind behind the products, and I was known as a mathematician, and when you put a chemical engineer and a
That's
mathematician
what it is.
together,
Chemical.
yeah, you
You
get
put
you
them
get some
together.
cool stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, you
that's what.
do. You
Yeah,
do.
get some
So
cool
yeah,
stuff. But
that's what.
she's here. She's here in the office watching the podcast.
No, she
Uh,
is. She don't want to
yeah.
get on camera or anything.
Nah.
Everybody's seeing her over there. Come on. There were a couple things that you pointed on in another podcast that I want to get on to is you were talking about how long does it take for a ball, even a bat, for a ball to actually get into cold weather or get into hot weather. How long does it take it to get it back to temperature that it was before it got there? You had said something
Yeah.
about 7 days.
Yeah. So what we found out was it's actually to be really sure that the ball comes back to exact specs. It's about 12 days, and even the labs they make them when they receive balls. They make them sit there for 14 days before they'll even test them. Any of the labs across the
Wow.
country.
Wow.
So they know this too. Yeah.
There's lots of
But what we found, yeah, about 7 days is pretty good. They'll be pretty close, but it takes the balls that long once they've been compromised. And right now with the heat, balls turn into marshmallows. We have some of the best heat resistant balls on the market, but it's, hitting a ball in 90 degrees will never be like hitting a ball in 40 degrees,
Oh, definitely. I remember when I ordered some balls from you at one time, they were 44 400s. And I said, man, I can't use that. And you go, yeah, you can because of where you're located. Because
That's
I
right.
live in South Texas and it gets hot here. So, but by the time you'd get a true review on a 44 375, because by the time you got into the review part, not in the morning, but that it would heat up and those balls would drop compression to a 44 375 at 90
That's right.
degrees. And I go, that's what I need. I need that. I don't need a ball that's going to lose compression on me. The other balls that I had were doing that, and I found out that different days that I would hit, and that's different now. But different days that I would hit, I wasn't hitting them balls as good because the heat was out. Or we'd be hitting to like 11, 12 o'clock, and I wasn't getting the performance that I was that morning. So when you started talking to me about that, I said, that's what I need. I need that true reading on a review on a ball that everybody else is going to hit. And it wouldn't be bad for a lot of the guys out there. And I know that Matt Barnes actually has your ball that he's got in his tournaments too.
Yeah.
What ball is that?
So he is the 375 and the 44 400 NSA, two different balls. Just to, according to what he gets for that tournament. And just like you said, when it gets, dead heat of summer, there's no issue with going up to the 400 if you choose to do so, which would be like hitting a 375 at the January tournament anyway.
Yeah.
So no different. But yeah, he's using the balls and he gets a lot of great feedback. And he's a big pro short porch guy too also.
Yeah, definitely talks about you guys a lot. I need to bring him back on here one of these Wednesdays too, because I know he's getting everything ramped up to start doing things. There is something You got okay. Hold on. Before I go into that, there's two bats I want to talk to you about that we're actually working on. We'll be working on these bats tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is the hot dog, that 2-piece medium barrel on that hot
Yeah.
dog. This bat, I know. Do you have any more of these bats out there?
No, so that bat is coming in with our production run end of next week. The soda pop and hot dog, we have them on pre-sale right now because we got tired of telling people they had to wait. But
These
yeah,
two bats,
those
right?
two bats, they should be in very soon. Yeah, so definitely.
Because here's and I'm gonna try to throw them up here too. This is the medium
Hmm.
barrel, and it's 1-piece. So what you have is two medium barrels here, right?
That's right.
And you've got a
That's right.
1-piece and a 2-piece on this bat. And I talked about the hot dog, which I love. Clem loves it.
Yeah.
It actually it does get the one thing I do like on what you've done with that medium soft and that hard is you dialed that in really good, because I know I cannot pick up a hard barrel and swing it, because that's not my swing. Mine is
For
like in
sure.
between a soft and a medium. But this bat right here, and I actually what I did was I sent you a picture of this bat last week, and you're going like, what? You know, I was like, you got to see the video on this bat. I love this bat. I love the way it performs. It's in that. Well, I'll tell you the numbers on it. At 200 swings, we compression tested at 190. Now it's lower than that now, and I haven't compression tested because that's before we hit it the last week. We're going to hit it again tomorrow. It's got striations in it all over this bat.
Well,
Like you can look into the paint. You did something different
well,
with this.
we touched on that, and you may not remember. We touched on it a little bit. The problem where I was worried about was the paint. So we never did a metallic paint, and you know why we hadn't did a metallic paint. So basically what we did is we made sure the barrel would flex so the metallic paint wouldn't kill performance, So, it's like you had to give and take, right? Or the bat wouldn't be
But
good.
it did nothing to the performance, and it's not really a clear coat. It actually looks a
No,
little
no.
different because it does look like a matte finish on it. It actually does look like it's matte. But dude, that bat, I love that bat. And the one thing I like about your bats are the consistency when swinging them. And if you guys swung a lot of bats out there, I'm talking to the audience, but if you guys swung a lot of bats out there, you'll pick up a bat that feels good in your hands. But once you start to swing it, it's like something's wrong. There's something wrong with this bat, and it just doesn't swing well for you. And then what I noticed about all of your bats, is that we don't get that. We don't get that inconsistency when we're hitting, which tells me everything flexes really good. You're not getting variations and flex points in the hands. So if you turn it in your hands and you go to another side, we've never got that with a short porch bat. So when you turn it in your hands, I noticed with some bat companies, I'm not getting the same performance when you turn it in your hands. And guys, you might think it has a lot to do with barrel flex. It has a lot to do with handle flex. So the handle's not built right, or something's tougher on one side than it is on the other side. One thing I noticed that we have noticed with short porches, we don't get that. We do not get that with any of your bats. We get different ones that perform with bat speeds, but we're not getting that. We're getting like, just line drives just everywhere, and then and then gappers, and then if Clem gets on a roll, and then the reason that Murray picked the drip is because his consistency was there hitting that shot. And I think when you want to buy a bat, that's mainly what you look for, is that consistency, not really how far. You want to get a top tier bat, but you want that consistency to it too. So
Well, most senior guys too, they're going to have two or three of the same bat, right? That's what I see, and it's important that all three of them bats be exactly the same or as close as humanly possible, because last thing you want to do is grab a different bat out your bag and it hit a little different, or something be off with the weight or the flex in the handle, and then you're like, man, why is this bat not hit like mother bat that I was just swinging, that maybe I I finally cracked last week or whatever. And that's an important part of what we do. And another reason why we're flying stuff around the world to get things consistent as possible. I mean, and there's always one-offs, but we try to, just get that dialed in as much as we can for sure.
Definitely. I love that. And I think that's your success, right? That's getting something that everybody likes and that's consistent. You're going to go far. I'm happy. I didn't know about the fast pitch till today. I didn't know about the little league, the baseball, the bats until today. I'm excited about that on where you're going with that. It has a lot to do with you succeeding. Me and you talked earlier, and I want to touch on this because I got excited when you actually offered this, and it has nothing to do with what I'm doing, and it will be something for charity. You had asked me about autism bats, and
That's right.
if I was interested in coming in and designing a bat for autism
For
for the
sure.
kids, and I said 100%. And the reason that I would do it is because of the charity of autism, and we would do an autism bat and collaborate with you and senior softball bat reviews and get the input from the guys, and we would help in designing. I told you this, as long as I can tell you specs on it, barrel flex, and maybe a couple of little things, that
For sure.
I would throw in there without you knowing, like tell somebody to do this, don't let Jeff know about this. That's a joke, but I would love to do that with all of that going to autism.
Yeah.
And when you said that, I was like, I can do that. You go, yeah, it wouldn't interfere with nothing that you're doing.
No, when it's for a good cause, things like this, collaborations. I told you about us and Adam doing it, and and when it comes to raising money and doing things for the better good, I think we should all get involved and do more things like this. And I'm super excited about it. I think it'd be a fun project too. Something.
That's the reason I was
Something
like,
different.
if I can do something like that to give back, I think that's a great cause. And if I can design it, if I can give you weight distribution numbers, what kind of handle flex, and just little things like that, maybe a different end cap or something like that. And I think we've talked about that in the past. That would be great to get people to, get this bat. And it'd have to be a one piece though. And that's another thing too. I
Yeah,
just
for sure.
want to have it one piece or
Well,
12 piece.
well, by the amount of bats that we go to market with, making bats, we can do it. It wouldn't be a long process for sure.
I wanted to get that out there because people would be prepared for it in the future,
for sure.
where they would be something that we would come up with collaborating with you, and I wouldn't have to get away from what I'm doing, and it would just, all that would just be out there for people. A lot of seniors out there would actually be really interested. And even with Adams that he's coming out with, because I know he has great knowledge, the chef has great knowledge, and you can tell with him going with a bat company with Onyx too. I mean, to do his little collaboration with them, with what he's got going on. I do want to give those guys shout out because they're doing the same thing that I'm doing. And if we can give back, because we've been doing this for a long time and help people out, I think that's an awesome thing. I think me and you, and I do want to it's another thing too. After that, I do want to, we've already been talking about we're going to hit in the morning. They're going to bring it up again about going to your shop in Savannah and getting the girls to actually go with us. And then I know Paco and David Sumner, and Paco's going to come down from Georgia. They've got a 2-hour drive. Girls have a 4-hour drive. Get Lisa to come in too with Harold and Boyd and actually just brainstorm, and maybe we can do it then where we're getting something to come out, and we could talk about, later on, talk about the time limit. That's all on you. That's all on what I don't want to, let's push this, because I think if we're going to build it, we're going to build it good. Let's just take our time doing it and make it one of the best out there that buy for years.
Well, by all accounts, I know we can do it, and like I said, it'd be for a great cause and be a lot of fun. And, I can't wait for you guys to get down here. Matter of fact, for our hit tracks, Christian just put up a 75-inch screen for our hit tracks yesterday. We had like a kiosk and computer that kind of did diagnostics on your swings and
Yeah.
gave us all the information on our products. But he's like, oh, if we're going to have people come in here and hit on it like we often do, we need a 75-inch screen up here so they can see where the ball's going, and you can hit in every stadium in the country and MLB stadium, and it's less than 5% inaccurate. It's 95% accurate, so it's really cool.
That is really good. But it's not the same one you get at DBAT, right? It's a different one.
Well, it's the same company, but we kind of jumped off what they did for the Philadelphia Phillies with a lot of their tech. I'm not going to say I invented that. They were just working on that one when we went into them building ours, and we just kind of got the slow pitch in with that. And like I said, I'm not, they did a lot of that work and putting that in there for us, and it's really good stuff. I mean, it has some limitations, but it runs through over 7,000 formulas. And if you put the time in there, it'll definitely give you a lot of data about your swing, and it's really cool stuff.
Yeah, I would love to make it a few days and then do a lot of video, because I think a lot of people out there are interested in all of the variations in bat speeds and variations in everything, like launch angles and just different little things that the more we educate with bringing you on here, people, I think that's a plus, because I've heard you talk, and that's the one thing I wanted to get the guys that can talk on here and do this, because just get the word out, on seniors and on bats. Because guys, I've talked to the seniors out there. They're just starving for knowledge about what's best bat to pick for their body style, their swing weight, weight, barrel flex, handle flex, and just stuff like that. But I think what you're doing, I see big things in the future for you guys too. I mean, because you are hitting the ground. I think Christian had said it earlier, hitting the ground running and not lagging.
No, we're definitely trying to, just like you said, educate people, and I think me and you talked a little bit about it last time I was on. Height has an incredible factor in the swings, and what bat you might want to, and that's something a lot of people don't talk about, is height or reach, just how long your arms are, and for different, and in flex too, and how much flex you would need in a bat. And from what we see, and unfortunately we can't bat fit everybody, get them in here and tell them, okay, you need this compression, this much bat flex. But I promise you, if you come in here and spend a day, we could dial you in and get you in the best short porch bat for you.
But I guarantee we'll get them really closer than what anybody else would.
Yeah, we
closer than going to all these clinics and then sitting there going, whatever fits your swing. That's the thing where I like what you're doing, because I'm tired of hearing that, okay, whatever feels good in your hands. What a lot of people don't understand is that's just a little bit to do with it. It's not really the factor. And then that person takes that bat out and goes, well, this bat sucks because it felt good in my hands, but it has different handle flex. So I don't need that handle flex. It's too stiff of a barrel. Well, you can't tell that by putting it in your hands. You can't tell a flex in a handle. You can't tell a flex in a barrel. That's how come I would get mad when somebody go out there, whatever feels good in your hands. No, it's actually not. It's just, you can do dry swings and go, this one feels good to me, but what you're doing is different.
I'll tell you, Dave, and a few things I'll say about hitters, because I've had a lot of hitters in here go through and the process of hitting, 100 balls or plus and looking at them. Most hitters who are struggling have the number one thing is their launch angle. They'll have a really poor launch angle if they're struggling in softball. And most good hitters will have, unless they're a beast and they're just somebody who's 100+ mile-an-hour exit velo all the time. But if they're not, if they're just a regular average guy with 80, 85 or so, say, exit velo, like a lot of guys have, or 90, then they need a really good launch angle to be a successful hitter. And that's something that doesn't get talked about enough in softball. It's really kind of mainstream in like MLB baseball these days, when they're looking at their hitters and what they do, and it's something that people need to look at more, because if you take 100 swings and your launch angle is say 8 or less, and a lot of people it will be, you'd be surprised, then they have a problem hitting. They can't put the ball on the ground that much with these 5-man infields. It's just, and if you have too high a launch angle, obviously you're going to pop out a lot. And if you show me a really good home run hitter, they'll have somewhere around a 26-degree launch angle, 26 to 30-degree launch angle, unless they're just a freak. And a freak, somebody like a Bubba or whoever, they're going to hit it. It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
But, I'm talking for the normal guys, that have that 85, 86 mile an hour exit velo, and yet they want to hit home runs. Well, if they want to hit home runs, they need a very good launch angle at that lowest speed is what they need. So,
Yeah.
And then there's bats that'll help you with that lower bat speed or exit velos also.
Definitely. I agree, and it's all by what bat speed that they have. I agree 100%. But we need to do this again.
Definitely will.
Me and you. We're going to talk tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're going to hit in the morning. We've got a lot of bats. A few bats to hit in the morning. I am done with the soda pop. I've already cut up the video. I talked to you about this the other day. It will be up there. Just to let you know, everybody else out there, go out and get you one for those low bat speed guys. I'll give you compression numbers tomorrow after we get done hitting tomorrow. I've cut up all the video. All I got to do is talking points on that. Yes, live tomorrow. And then we are on the two-piece, the short, on the hot, this one too.
Yeah,
on this. So
and that's too that we're going to start shipping out to customers right here very soon. And they were very popular bats. That's why we ran them back into production as fast as we could to get them out in everybody's hands. And we're looking forward to getting them out there on the field, more of them than we anticipated this year.
I like that. For one, you're going to have a supply of them when they come in, so you're not ordering a lot, or back ordering a lot. I think that's the one thing a lot of seniors out there that really want to have is, the availability of a lot of the bats, because your bats are top tier bats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
They like that, and you going forward doing it. I'm very intrigued about the Kevlar thing, because I know what that can do to a bat. So I'm very excited about that, or what that has done to bats in the past.
For sure.
And I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we're very excited about it too. And the fast pitch bat is Kevlar based also. A USA softball bat that I didn't touch on, but for a lot of the leagues that play USA, ASA, that'll come out next year. And those should all be Kevlar based next year, as long as everything stays to plan. It's looking good right now, is what I could tell you.
One thing I love about what you're doing is you're moving forward. You're not stagnant. And I think that will be very successful for you guys, because I'm always hearing words. I'm always hearing talk every day. I'm always hearing people texting me, because I don't ignore purposely, but I can't answer all the questions during the day. I mean,
I get it.
Man, I know. And then you don't want to be where it's not like you're not paying it. This is that you got so much on the plate, especially you that's doing on this. I have family here, so I can't pick up the phone and talk to these guys when they're asking me about, hey, which short porch should I get? Should I get the soda pop, or should I get the middle one, with the bluegrass one? And I'm like, well, what's your bat speed? You got to give me.
That's right.
I need to know what your bat speed is, because it says, well, I don't know. I said, well, really, I can't guess and throw it at you. If you got a medium bat speed or high bat speed, go with that one piece, this bluegrass, which I actually love this bat, and I'll be swinging it mostly tomorrow, because I told you the other day that probably going to be my gamer playing the rest of the year is that one right there. I love it so much, and since I don't have a Foster, That probably will be my gamer. But we're going to hit it again tomorrow morning, and I'll do compression testing on it again. And that's another thing too. Every bat we're going to do compression numbers at the beginning and at the end. That way everybody has knowledge on what short push compression numbers are, and I think that will help everybody out there. Like, what can I get the soda pop down to, and then do a compression test on it.
Yeah,
That
for sure. And, what's crazy is everybody's compression number is different that they need. And most people, those compression testers are really expensive. There's not many of them out there. So people, that's a question people can't answer. But if they could call when they call in here and they talk to one of our office staff, if they did know what number was best for them, like say 190 or 180, that would be another bat. That's a bat fitting process we do.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that most people just couldn't. How could they know unless they came in here and we fitted them for a bat?
A lot of companies don't do what you do. A lot of companies don't do. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying a lot of companies don't know that. Where they can call you up and say, okay, this is what my compression is. What bat do you have? And you can boom right off the bat.
Yeah, right.
People you have working for you too, not only you.
Because it's not only where it's at new, it's how quickly the bat's going to get down there. Because some may seem a little high, but they're going to move way faster. So it's not the actual starting point. It's where that bat gets to after 50 to 100 cuts.
Have you noticed that too from the beginning of compression testing? That really is irrelevant. A lot of people want to know that, because it's really irrelevant if you're pulling up a 230 or 240 compression test. That don't make your decision off of that. You actually want to hit that bat some more. It's not some more, but it might take 50 swings. It might take 100 swings. It might take 150. Just because that compression number at the beginning is high doesn't mean anything on what that's going to get down to.
No, it's the starting compression of a bat is a very elementary way of looking at it, is what I could tell you. That's not going to give you really any information other than a number. It's not going to tell you much about that bat. So you're dead right there. I know people want to look at this, and the other problem with compression testers is, let's face it, a lot of them out there are just very inaccurate. So when they're testing at fields, we've tested bats and then tested at a field, and it's usually not real close, believe it or not. So unfortunately, those things can be kind of tricky, and you have to play with them a little and fight with them. And if you use them a lot, you kind of know. But at the field, when these people are testing the bats, there could be a 20-pound variance. I think that's what we've seen anyway. So
definitely. Or if the bat's hot and sitting out in the sun, that compression could be different than it being back at the shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that what you guys are doing, going forward, I think it's great. I like talking to you guys, and even Christian in there, because Christian's like you, and he's been chiming in. You got Trey, but Christian's been chiming in and popping off to the guys, but his knowledge too that he brings to the table. Even Leslie and talking to her, I know I'll talk to her whenever I see her, but I knew right from the bat that she knew what she was talking about just by talking to her a little bit.
Definitely. Our whole staff here, and Christian, he's spending all day here now talking to players on the phone, just the senior players. We have other people in here talking to the younger players. So if it's a senior phone call, they will normally get Christian, they will talk to Leslie, or they will talk to myself, unless they're not available. Everybody else will be on the U-Trip side dealing with those phone calls, and they're very knowledgeable about those things. So we kind of have it separated for the seniors for sure.
But going forward, just don't forget about us.
No, man. I'm not. I love senior softball, but I was telling you, just much like I know you've been nicked up, is I just can't stay healthy. I seem to always be hurt and always fighting injuries, and I guess that's part of senior softball.
Right, that's part of senior softball. That's part of getting old too.
I'm playing Florida State's this weekend in Tampa, and I'm a little banged up, but my plan is to go out there and fight the fight. So
Exactly. That's what everybody does. I mean, they get banged up, but they're still out there. Yeah, it's being Christians old. We're definitely old bodies out there. But hell, what else we're gonna do?
yeah,
Give
that's
up?
right.
If you don't move around, man, if you don't do this, you get old really fast and faster. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
right.
the reason I love doing it, and I'll fight the aches and pains, and I'll still go out there and push because I know what else would I be doing, sitting at home on the couch, and wheelchairing away or
Well,
dissolving.
it's a good reason to stay in shape because me and Chris was talking about it. Hey, if we weren't playing ball, we're afraid we would let ourselves go and not stay in shape, and it would just be worse probably. To be honest. So, so
Definitely. Well, hey,
I
brother,
appreciate
this
it,
was
Dave.
great. I'm going to cut up a lot of this, like I was talking about. I think we're running over an hour right now, but
Yeah,
I'm going to cut up a lot of this and make little shorts out of it. I think that was a great idea by Carlos, and I think it gets a lot more people involved and spreads the word actually quite a bit. And I've got different, channels that I've opened up. One of them being TikTok, and I'm not going to do TikTok the bad way. I'm going to do TikTok the good way, where a lot of people can just look at those shorts and gain knowledge, and then that's it. But I appreciate you coming on and giving me the time, though. That's a big
yeah,
thing.
man.
I know we're going to talk tomorrow or the next day. We're going to hit in the morning, and we're going to try to do some live video if I have everybody there. If I have everybody there, I got to say that again because we're not going to do it with three or four guys, with two or three guys. We're not going to do it.
For sure.
It's just, but because I don't have a lot of people, I want to get a lot of people talking basically. But and then after that, I don't have anything else to do, so I might just shoot you a phone call and talk about things we talked about
Yeah,
in the
man.
podcast.
Yeah, give me a call. We'll be right here all day tomorrow and probably half the night. So I'll look forward to hearing from you. And thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate
I can't wait to see what you got coming though.
you.
That's the deal. I get excited about it.
A lot of cool stuff for sure, man. We're excited about it too. We just been ramping up like everybody else, just getting things ready for Vegas and getting things out ahead of Vegas. So it's gonna be a
Thanks,
fun
brother.
time. All right,
Thanks,
thanks,
brother.
buddy.
All right, take care.
Bye, bud.
There are a few things I want to talk about. How long have we been on here? I can't even see. A few things I want to talk about that I wanted to get off here and say. Small clips, guys. That's something that I was leaning to, and I'm going to actually start doing a lot of. Is if you want to listen to the 2-hour podcast, you can listen to that, or just listen to small clips and bullet points on talking points. Basically, is what they're going to be. Things that need to get the word out, or things talk about like the weather, when it comes to hitting balls, just stuff like that. All reviews that I have going forward will have a beginning on what the compression test is at the beginning, which really doesn't mean anything, but that's the request that I have. It is a lot of people out there want to see what the compression test was at the beginning, but as you can hear Jeff talking about, it really doesn't mean anything. Because you can either, depend on what bat you have, that can either go faster or slower. It really doesn't matter. But I am going to have at the end, not 100 swings. I keep on saying that because we have different bat speeds than what you have. So we're going to break a bat in totally different than what you do. Now, if I had just one person with my bat speed being 50 miles an hour and I was doing it, yes, I can do it that way at 100 swings or 200 swings on what I was getting it there. But everybody doesn't have my bat speed 50 miles an hour. So it's irrelevant, in my opinion. So what I will do at the end is, at the end of a review, when we get average guys at the end, 9:30, average at the end, Christian, 9:30, average at the end, we're getting to average, and I do all the cutting up. That's me. I do everything. I do all the cutting up. I do all the putting, everything, the talking. I do everything. We're getting an average of over 600. They get 630, 640 swings on a bat at the end of a review. Now, we do keep those bats and keep hitting them just in case if one of those bats, you guys remember the lift. The lift actually would open up after 600 swings. So we do keep those bats that we think are too hard, and we'll hit them later on again just in case they actually open up, and then I will come back and tell you this bat opened up at 700 swings. That has not happened, but when the lift did that, it actually didn't get that much hotter than what it was, and I didn't put a good review out on that lift bat from Dudley from years ago. So we do keep the bats that we're doing that with. So after the review, I'll do a compression test on that bat and let you guys know what those numbers are. The one thing I like about that compression test, and it actually proves a point to me, is balanced bats take longer to break in. So when you have a balanced bat with that high hand weight, it just takes longer to get there. But it does get there, and it does loosen up for you. I had a bat the other day that we were swinging. I won't call them out or anything. We've got 350 swings on it. It's not loosening up. It stays at that 200 mark in that compression test. And I know for a fact that this bat has a soft barrel on it. And again, it's not loosening up, so we're going to hit it again tomorrow and then compression test it at the end of the day tomorrow. You guys have talked to me about back problems. I have back problems. I've had back problems for, I want to say 50 years. I've had back problems, bad back problems, lower back problems. I have neck problems too, but the one thing I found out, do not give up on the sport that you guys love. And I said this in the last video, a couple of videos before too. Don't give up, guys. There's a way that I actually would do things differently with hitting a bat. I went lower in weight. I'd still swung an end load. I didn't go to a balanced bat yet, but I went lower in weight, and my weight distribution numbers, and I guess that's basically how I found out I can get great performance on a lighter bat if my weight distribution numbers were different. If I went low on the hands and high on the end with a softer barrel. And I found out that I was getting the same distance or even more when I swung a heavier bat. And it's all about weight distributions. That's how come I came up with this theory years ago, because of my bad back. Well, hey, I'm not a big guy, and I can get the same distance by swinging a 26 as a 27 if my weight distribution numbers were a little different, where it wouldn't take that much torque to actually turn on a ball. What I noticed that my number is 17.4 on the end that I can outswing, so I got to actually trash that bat. Not trash it, but not swing it, have the other guy swing it and get a lighter bat. So guys, if you got back problems, don't give up and just trash the bat. Go down in weight, but don't go to a softer barrel. You know, go to a, yeah, we need to talk. I was meaning to get a hold of you, Terry, about that too. And go to a softer barrel. It's actually going to help you. You know, you'll still get that bat speed up there, but you're a little bit off the torque, and it's not going to put that much strain on your lower back if you go down in weight. A little bit softer barrel, a little bit less end load. So I don't want to get too much into that. The new Fosters are here, and they are sold out from what I heard earlier. And then I found that Ronnie Salcedo actually has some 27s and 25s right now. You'd have to get a hold of him. I don't know what he's sitting at right now. Jose Gonzalez, give me my freaking bat back. If you don't, ain't nothing I can do about it. I mean, I can't go looking for you. I'm not going to go looking for you. In Houston, if anybody knows Jose Gonzalez, play senior softball at Houston, tell him to give me my shit back, but don't do anything to him. That's just, I don't do that shit. That's it, guys. I've got a bunch of stuff that I wrote down here that I really don't want to get into. I cannot wait to get collaboration with Short Porch to do that autism bat. He actually talked to me about that earlier, and I got real excited. And I told him the only way I would do this if I built the bat. If I did the weight distribution numbers on it. And I've never done this with anybody. And I think it going to a good cause. And I think that's more of the thing that we can do. Adam's doing it too, that we can do to give back, you know, and I think that's for a great cause. And for me to get my hands on it and say, okay, do this different or add this in there that I would want, and collaborate with them. I think that's for a great cause, and I cannot wait to get that out. And I'll put that in the shorts just to get everybody out there. And a lot of people just might buy it just because it's going to if it's going to perform, guys. I mean, you're going with, I think a lot of people would buy it for one because of autism, and one because Adam's building his or me building mine. I think it goes for a great cause, and I'm actually I'm excited. There's something I'm freaking excited about because I get to put something out there. I would get a couple of them, put them on my wall, or give them to people too, or my membership channel. Clem, you see, when Clem wants something, he doesn't ask me on there. Clem, we got those bats pulled out from underneath us, but I'm already done talking about the autism. But I cannot wait to get that started. Clem, we got those bats pulled out from underneath us. They sold them all. I ordered 227s because they're out of 28s, 227s and a 25 for the girls, and we will get those next week. They actually ship them out. They're going to ship them out in the morning. I paid for them today. But guys, thanks for watching. I've got another guest I need to talk to him that's going to come on next week, and he is part of a bat manufacturing company, and just come in and talk about a bunch of things. But he is somebody that builds bats, and this is what I want to do. This is basically what I love doing, is getting all these guys to spread knowledge, as much knowledge as they can spread that they can and or want to, and basically pick their brain, or trying to get them to just talk about how they got where they're at right now and what their theory is on how bats should be built. Thanks, guys.